Like most college students, you'll be taking some classes online. So it's important to be confident with computer and internet technology before starting online courses so you can ensure a successful start to your program. Most students usually understand basic computer hardware and software, and usually they understand how to navigate the internet, and they're usually ready to take online classes. But just to make sure that you get a confident start, let's take some time to get to know the basic components of a computer workstation and internet technologies. Now, many online students use a notepad, an iPad, or even a smartphone to complete their online courses. But you probably also have a laptop or a desktop computer at some point, and I'd like to start with some basic computer vocabulary. So let's talk about hardware. Now, if you have a desktop computer, then you probably have four main pieces of technology, main pieces of hardware. A desktop computer starts with a CPU. That's called a Central Processing Unit. The CPU is the brain of the computer. When you turn it on, it immediately begins processing information and becomes ready for you to tell it what to do. Now, how do you tell the CPU what to do? You have two pieces of hardware for communicating to the computer, and those are pieces of hardware that you might not usually think about as hardware, and that is a mouse and a keyboard, both of which plug into the CPU. The keyboard uses keys to input commands and information into the computer's brain, and that mouse allows you to move the cursor around on the computer screen and select options and make choices. Most keyboards and mice plug in with the same type of connection called a USB connection. USB stands for Universal Serial Bus, in case you're interested in that. And because USB is universal, lots of different kinds of devices, printers, scanners, or flash drives have that same type of universal connection. Anything with a USB connection can go into the same computer port. That's pretty cool. Of course, your keyboard and mouse might be wireless and need no wired connection at all. If that's the case, you'll just need to keep a fresh set of batteries around to keep your components talking to each other. Now, the last piece of hardware is called a computer monitor. The keyboard and the mouse are tools you use to talk to the computer CPU, and that monitor is the tool that the computer uses to talk back to you. You know what's going on in the computer's brain by looking at the monitor. So a desktop computer, which a lot of people use really in a traditional kind of way, requires those four components: CPU, keyboard, mouse, and monitor. Of course, like I said earlier, many online students use a laptop computer, which only consists of one single piece of hardware. The CPU, keyboard, mouse, and monitor are all built into the one single unit. Now, if you're using a notepad or even a cell phone for your online work, that's great. You'll be even more portable. But whether you have a desktop, laptop, or mobile device, it's important that you understand those main components of the hardware. Now let's shift to software. Software is the programs or applications that appear on your computer. Most students are usually familiar with basic computer software, and within your program, you'll be introduced to more professional software packages that will help you develop into a technologically strong professional within your career. But for starters, let's just talk about a few basic pieces of software that you'll need to have in order to be successful online. Your online classes are going to rely on having an updated web browser. Web browsers such as Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, or Chrome will allow you to log into the online classroom. In addition to a web browser, students should also have an email client like Microsoft Outlook with a current email address so they can communicate with their instructors. You might also need a video conferencing software if the instructor requires real-time communication during the course, but you'll be able to download video conferencing software if you end up needing it during your classes. Finally, your computer should include office productivity software so that you can write papers, build spreadsheets, create presentations for projects, and do the other kinds of assignments that your instructors will assign. The most common productivity software is Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office includes several main programs like Microsoft Word for word processing and desktop publishing, Excel for building its spreadsheets and working with numbers, PowerPoint for building graphical presentations, If you don't have a copy of Microsoft Office on your computer, consider purchasing the less expensive student version, which can save you a lot of money. You will need productivity software to complete your work as an online student, and your computer probably doesn't come pre-equipped with that software that you'll need. So if it's not on your computer now, you'll probably need to invest in Microsoft Office or find a way to budget so that you can make sure you have that hooked up on your computer and ready to roll. Now think of your computer as the automobile of online education. When you're attending classes at the campus, you'll need a reliable car unless you ride a bike, take the bus, walk, or hitch a ride. As an online student, technology access, a working computer, proper software, and reliable internet is what will keep you in class. Keeping your internet live and healthy throughout your online program is essential. Even if you have internet service live at your home now, you probably will have to reconnect it, reboot it, and understand how it works so that you can restore service if you lose it. Since internet service providers, also called ISP, is your transportation to school, you've got to be committed to maintaining that internet service throughout the length of your program. Now let's take a look at the basics of your internet service and how to set it up on your computer. So internet service. It comes from the internet service provider, the ISP, into your house from outside wires and into a decoding box. It's called a modem. The modem unscrambles and processes internet information just like your cable box unscrambles TV information, and then that modem routes the information to your computer in the format your computer can read. It's really not that important that you really know how that ISP sends information to your modem and how your modem decodes it, but what is really important is that you keep your internet live and healthy, that you understand that it's your responsibility for keeping your ISP active throughout your program. If your internet fails or you fail to pay the bill, your classes don't stop, and you continue to be responsible for completing the work in your course. So make sure to plan financially to keep your internet alive during your entire program. And you probably better be thinking about other places where you can access the internet in case you have a failure. Okay, the last piece of technology we're going to take a look at is the online website where you'll find your classes. That is the Learning Management System. You'll log on to your courses within our institution by using a web browser like Chrome or Internet Explorer to log into the website you've been given. The admissions or education staff at the campus have provided you with a username and a login for the LMS. You're probably on it right now, right? And once you get the hang of moving around in the LMS, you'll be able to develop a familiar routine of logging in, assessing what needs to be accomplished within a course, and plugging into the work ahead of you. Let's just take a quick look at how to navigate through the LMS and launch into the work of a class. So when you log into the LMS, you'll usually see activities, announcements, and opportunities that are only available to active students within the school. It's important that you never just breeze right into your online classes when you log in, because the school sometimes will post announcements and messages to students that'll be important for you to read. Sometimes those might be personal messages just sent to you from our staff. So always take a look around and see if there are any opportunities or communications that the school is sending to you before going to class. All of the classes that you're taking in a particular term should be listed for you when you log into the LMS. If you have multiple classes going on at one time, remember that you're responsible for completing coursework in all of those courses, probably each week of the term. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you can just finish one online class before ever logging into the next online class. If you have 2 or 3 classes going on at once, make sure to balance your time and complete the required material in all courses every week. Make sure you keep up with all of the assignments in each of the classes that you're assigned. Okay, the last thing I want you to know before I let you go is what you need to do if you run into technical problems. Please remember that when online students experience academic or technical problems, instructors and staff members can't notice that you're having a problem unless you reach out to them for assistance. So students should call or email the school immediately upon having any challenges. The director of education at the campus is that main contact for support. Your director of education might give you another number to call for technical support at some point, but it's never wrong to call the director of education. Give them a call if you're experiencing problems or need help or have any kind of technical errors. Remember, if you don't call or come to the campus to ask for help, nobody at the school will naturally know that you need help. Please reach out for help when you need it. Okay, hopefully you've got the basics of technology under your belt. You ready for a quiz? No? Well, obviously, you can watch this lesson again if you want to. And when you think you've got the basics of hardware, software, internet technology, and the LMS ready to roll, well, you're going to take the quiz for this lesson. It shouldn't be too tough, and it'll give you a good sense of whether you've mastered the basic technical concepts at this point. I think you probably have, and I bet you can do it, so let's go ahead and take that quiz now.